Frugality is becoming increasingly popular, and it's not just about saving money. With the cost of living climbing ever higher, people are starting to realize that living simply and spending money wisely is a better strategy than they initially thought. From prioritizing experiences over material stuff to striving for financial freedom, frugality is gaining popularity unlike ever before. So why is everyone jumping on the frugality bandwagon? Let's dive into the interesting reasons behind this growing shift. My name is Chris, and I help teach people about money, personal finance, and investing. If you're interested in improving your financial future, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if this video is helpful. In today's fast-paced world, it's incredibly easy to get caught up in buying the latest gadgets, upgrading to the newest technology, or trying to keep up with the trends that seem to change overnight. The constant barrage of advertisements and social media influencers showcasing a lifestyle of excess can make it feel like you're missing out if you're not always buying something new. However, a growing number of people are starting to see that this endless pursuit of material things doesn't necessarily lead to happiness or fulfillment. The initial thrill of acquiring new stuff fades quickly, often leaving behind a sense of emptiness or the pressure to keep accumulating more. This realization is driving a shift towards frugality as people begin to question whether they're really living their best lives or just following a script written by consumer culture. Frugality encourages a different approach. It helps you take a step back and really think about what's most important to you. Instead of filling your life with things, you start focusing on what truly brings you joy and contentment. For many, this means spending more quality time with loved ones, deepening relationships, and creating memories that can't be bought in a store. It also means having the freedom to pursue hobbies and passions that might have been neglected in the hustle to keep up with the latest trends. Whether it's painting, gardening, or pursuing work you're passionate about, these activities often bring a deeper sense of satisfaction than any material item ever could. Investing in personal growth is another significant benefit of a frugal lifestyle. Without the constant distraction of buying and accumulating, you have more time and energy to focus on self-improvement. This could mean furthering your education, working on your health and fitness, or simply becoming more mindful and present in your day-to-day life. People are starting to realize that happiness doesn't come from stuff, but from the connections they build with others. By spending less on material things, they're able to invest more time and energy into their relationships, which ultimately brings more fulfillment. Plus, living simply often means less stress and more freedom, allowing people to focus on what really matters, being with the people they care about. By cutting out the unnecessary and resisting the urge to constantly consume, you can redirect your resources, both time and money, towards the things that bring true and lasting satisfaction. Frugality is becoming a go-to lifestyle for a lot of people as they start to see just how important financial freedom really is. More and more folks are waking up to the need for a solid financial foundation. The idea of living paycheck to paycheck is exhausting, and frugality offers a way out of that cycle. People are coming to the realization that having the freedom to decide when and if they want to work and who they want to work for is far more enticing than they initially thought. By cutting back on unnecessary spending and focusing on saving and investing, people are finding that they can actually start getting ahead. Instead of buying things they don't really need, they're putting their money towards things that matter, like paying off debt, building an emergency fund, or investing for retirement. This approach isn't about depriving yourself and removing everyday pleasures. It's geared towards creating the freedom to do what you want with your life without being held back by financial stress. Living frugally also gives people a sense of control over their lives. When you're not constantly worried about money, you can make choices based on what's truly important to you, rather than what your bank account allows. Whether that means taking a job you love, even if it doesn't pay as much, or being able to travel, start a business, or retire early, financial freedom opens up a world of possibilities. As more people realize the benefits of this approach, frugality is becoming less about being cheap and more about being smart with your money and your life. One big reason people are getting more into frugality is because minimalism is really taking off. Minimalism is all about living with less and cutting out the clutter, both in your home and in your life. As more people catch on to this way of thinking, they're realizing they don't need to constantly buy more stuff to feel happy or fulfilled. The car, the house, the nice clothes, sure, those are all nice, but it's distracting you from what really matters. Instead of spending money on things that just end up collecting dust or stressing you out, minimalism encourages you to be intentional with what you own and how you spend your money. This naturally leads to a more frugal lifestyle, where people are more thoughtful about their purchases and more likely to save their money for things that bring real value to their lives. Having a minimalist mindset, at least to some degree, is about creating a life that's simpler, less cluttered, and more focused on the things that actually make you happy. People are finding that when they cut back on unnecessary spending and start living more minimally, they not only save money, but also feel more content and less stressed out. The more minimalism gains popularity, the more people are drawn to frugality as a way to live a life that's rich in experiences and meaning, rather than in material junk. The rising cost of living is another big reason why so many people are turning to frugality these days. As prices for just about everything, like housing, groceries, and healthcare, keep going up, it's becoming harder for folks to keep up with their budgets. Monthly bills and everyday expenses seem to be climbing higher and higher, and it's pushing a real strain on finances. In response, more people are starting to rethink their spending habits and become more intentional about how they use their money. They're cutting back on things they don't really need, finding ways to save on everyday expenses, and becoming more mindful about their purchases. People are finding that becoming more frugal is a great way to manage financial pressure and create some breathing room in their budgets. By living a frugal lifestyle, people are finding ways to cope with the rising costs and still maintain a decent quality of life. It's not always easy, but becoming more frugal helps them stay on top of their finances and build up a little safety net for the future. As costs keep climbing, frugality is becoming more of a necessity than just a choice. People are just plain tired of lining the pockets of their bosses in big corporations while they stagnate financially. It's frustrating to work hard and see so much of your money end up enriching CEOs and shareholders who seem more interested in their profits than in the people who make their businesses run. How frustrating is it to work so hard and not get paid what you believe you deserve? On top of that, when people spend their hard-earned cash on brands and companies that don't really care about their customers or the community, it can feel like they're just feeding into a system that's all about profit and not much else. To combat this, more and more people are deciding to take back control by being more frugal. They're cutting back on unnecessary expenses, avoiding big brands that don't resonate with their values, and finding ways to spend their money in ways that truly benefit them and their communities. People are finding a way to make a statement and keep more of their money where it matters most, back in their own pockets, and in places that align with their personal values. By being frugal, people aren't just tossing their money at companies that don't align with their values. Instead, they're spending it on things that they truly care about and keeping it for their own personal growth. As Dave Ramsey puts it, the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as a status symbol of choice. This really sums up how frugality is becoming the new cool. People are starting to see financial independence and smart money management as the ultimate status symbols, rather than showing off with flashy cars or expensive brands. Instead of splurging on high-end stuff, more folks are finding real pride in being debt-free, saving up, and making smart choices. It's a shift towards valuing financial stability in a more meaningful way of living, where the focus is on what truly matters in the long run.